I'm back. I know everyone says this, oh, it's been so long, it's been so long. Truly, it really has. I have tried to film a couple of like wrap-ups and stuff, but my phone always stopped working for some reason. So let's fingers crossed this doesn't happen today. But I am coming back to you with a little March wrap-up. And this is literally so embarrassing. I'm so hot. My glasses are like steaming. So ignore that. Ignore the hair. I just wanted to get this done like fast, quick, speedy. Some of these books I just finished, so this is kind of like a first impressions, like reading wrap up for the month of April. So let's go ahead and dive in. All right, let's dive in. So I'm looking at my Goodreads, and I'm just gonna do the books in order. So for the first one, I finished Bullet Train by Kotaro Isaka. I don't know if you guys have seen the movie. I actually watched the movie first. Super, super good. Has Brad Pitt. It's awesome. But this book, I rated it a 4 stars. And I did actually do a little review on this too. The book was super fast-paced, very funny, super action-packed. I love all the different POVs as well. You get several different ones, and I think my favorite personally is Lemon and Tangerine. And they're just the best comical duo. I would definitely recommend this book that I read. Was Sarah J. Maas's Crescent City, House of Earth and Blood. I did tab it a little bit here. This was a buddy read with my girl Carrie on Instagram. She's book at 18. But these, you guys, don't come for me. I love Sarah J. Maas. I fucking ate the shit out of Throne of Glass and ACOTAR. But this series is just not for me. I just didn't really connect with the characters. I thought the romance between like Hunt and Bryce was really awkward and weird and rushed, and I hated the urban fantasy aspect of it. My glasses are fogging up so bad. So the next book that I read was Sarah J. Maas's Crescent City, Book 1, House of Earth and Blood. Honestly, guys, not my favorite. I definitely fuck with SJM hard, but the urban fantasy of it all just isn't for me. I thought the romance was really awkward and pushed, and having the guns in the department and like the video cameras and the phones and the emails, it just honestly wasn't for me. I'm actually buddy reading the second book. I buddy read the first book with the same person. Her name's Carrie. Love that woman. And I'm struggling. I don't know if I want to speak for her, but she has also mentioned she's struggling. The book just isn't, if it wasn't Sarah J. Maas, I would have not finished it, to be honest. I would not even be reading that book. We started that book maybe 2 weeks ago. We're both like maybe halfway through. I am excited for like the crossover in Shadow and Flame, I think the next book is in the Crescent City series, because there's supposed to be like a Marvel universe like whoosh of all of her books, apparently. So I am really excited for that. And honestly, that's the only reason why I'm reading it. But yeah, so hopefully I like it. The second book so far is much better. But I can definitely recognize that this is a great book. Like I said, or if I didn't say, I did rate it 4 stars because it is really good. The plot is decent, I guess. The writing's great. The characters are fine. It is a good book. It's just not necessarily for me, but I know it's actually a lot of people's favorites, which is kind of crazy to me, but I love you either way. So let's see, next on the docket. So then I finished The Sorceress, and I actually have that book on my bookshelf, but I'll just show you here. It is The Sorceress, The Secrets of the Immortal, Nicholas Flamel, book number 3 by Michael Scott. Definitely an older book, super good. It is one of my fiance's favorite series. So he really wanted me to read it. He has them all on Audible, so that's how I am listening to it, but it's pretty good. It's young adult, it has magic, and I don't know, and that's the difference, I guess, between the two, because now I'm thinking about it. This is like, it does have fantasy elements in it, but it's also modern. But I guess from my point of view, all I've read from SJM is like high fantasy stuff and like fantasy romance things, and then she just gives me this, you know what I mean? But super hardcore, like urban fantasy, versus something that I'm reading and I know to be like what it is. Like these books, they never have started off being one thing and then leading to another. So I do like this one. I know I just shit on like technology and stuff in that book, but in this book, in this series, it's what I'm used to, it's what I started with, so that's why I do really like it. So I'd probably give this book, I actually haven't rated it yet, we'll give it a 3 stars. It's good, it is pretty good, it's just not my favorite, but I do really like the storyline and I am really interested to see where it goes. So the next book that I finished was The Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires, but not the hot ones. Don't worry, Edward, we're not coming for you. The book is by the man, the myth, the legend himself, Grady Hendrix. This book was so good, 5 stars. It was super world building. A lot of, if not all of his books are based between like the 80s to the 90s, so it all has that kind of vibe in it, which I love. I'm super nostalgic. I love watching the same movies over and over again. I love all the 80s movies because that's what my mom always had me watching when I was growing up. And The Evil Dead is actually one of my favorites, and a lot of his books give me just like those Evil Dead vibes with Ash, and it's comical, it's gory, it's funny, it's horrible, but it's fucking awesome. All of his books give me those vibes, and I would 10 out of 10 recommend this book. So it's about Patty. She is a home wife, essentially. She was a nurse. This book is back in the 80s, and a new guy strolls in town, and he's pretty sus. People are going missing. Kids are dying. They're being like abducted, or it is pretty bonkers, super gruesome. She starts a book club with some of the other housewives around the block, and it kind of goes from there. They just want to solve the mystery of who Mr. James Harris actually is and what's going on. So definitely recommend. And now that I just did that synopsis, I realized that I didn't do any of them for any other ones. SJM, Google it, look it up. Basically, Zootopia times NCIS in the world of Sarah J. Maas with fae and angels and vampires and shifters and stuff. The immortal Nicholas Flamel, the sorceress, 2 kids getting magic, getting powers, does have mythology things in it, mythological, and also like different gods and stuff. The immortal Nicholas Flamel with the stone as well, and this one kind of has an emphasis on his wife Pernell, and the kids kind of growing from there, reconnecting with Perry. The next book that I finished was Aurora's Rising, which is by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. It's a YA. I gave it a 4 stars. Super good, super cute. If you like Guardians of the Galaxy, times like Stranger Things, this book is so good. If you don't read YA because it's young adult, just get over yourself. I swear to God, it's good. I think it's like upper YA. There's still like kind of swear words. There's tension. There's a little bit of romance. There's a lot of action. But it's just lighthearted and goofy and just super duper fun to read. I love found family, and I think YA really has some of the best like found family tropes and situations and stuff. So I would highly, highly recommend that book. Super duper good. And actually, Amy Kaufman's like solo book comes out tomorrow, The Isles of the Gods. I love that book. That was a fucking 5-star book for me. Again, it's YA, but it's so good, you guys. You have to check it out. And then the next book that I finished, so I think this is book 6. Look at me go. The Lord of Gold and Glory. It's the Fae Isles book 2 series by Lizette Marshall. I gave it a 3. The first book, A Court of Blood and Bindings, super good, 4 stars for me as well. But this one, oh, my mailman's here. Hello, man. But this book, holy fucking shit. On Kindle, it's like 500 something pages. Ugh. It does not have to be that wordy. It was so long. It was so unnecessary. Like the first, like 60% of the book, nothing fucking happened. It's just the conversations. It just is, it was too much. It's too much. I'm not gonna lie. I definitely did skim some, but like mama have to, or she wasn't gonna fucking finish this book and DNF it. The series is good. I like the storyline, so that's why I do want to continue reading it. So I will get the 3rd book in the series as well. So essentially, the first book is about blood and bindings. The magic system is pretty cool in this series. It's based on color, and like color can destroy, heal, not maneuver, but manipulate objects and stuff like that. So it is super cool, really unique. We have Emile. She meets Creon, the big bad winged baddie, kind of like the Umbra Mortis in here, like Hunt. So super similar. So I do like that parallel between the two. It is kind of hot, so it's fine. She has undiscovered powers, of course, and he goes to get her and kind of go from there. I don't want to spoil anything because I would recommend it overall. I think it is a pretty highly rated series, pretty popular series on Kindle Unlimited anyway, so I would definitely check it out. And the second book is just kind of a continuation of the story of course, from the first book with Creon and Emile. We meet some extra characters, so they're in this book a lot more too. And then also we got a little bit of drama on the family front, so it was pretty good. I'd recommend. And I think that's actually it, guys. Was that 6 books? Look at this speed video. I know it's a little crazy. First video back, and I'm a fucking shit show and it's a mess. But I was watching a podcast today, Unsubscribe, and they were just talking about on there, you're gonna be cringy before you get better. So just fucking post the damn thing. But I fucking love books. I fucking love you. And I just wanted to be cringy with you guys, and get this done, get this out there, because this is super fun for me. I don't have a lot of people in my real life that read books, so having the community and the space to share and talk about something that we all love is super cool, and I'm super grateful to have the space to do that. But one last thing before I go, I did just want to humbly brag that me and one of my bestest friends actually went to a Grady Hendrix signing event. It was so fun. So these are all of the books that I have by him. The event was held at the Space in Portland, right in Maine. Super small, very intimate setting. It was so good. He basically did a presentation on how to sell a haunted house, which is one of his newest books that came out within the last couple of months. I picked it up maybe a few months ago. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. Just because I started my reading journey reading a lot of like horror thriller novels. This was actually one of my top books of last year. So I was able to talk to him about that, which is super amazing. But I've been on my fantasy grind. I'm in my fantasy girly era. So it's been pretty hard to detach from that, even though I love thrillers and I love his books so much. So I definitely want to dedicate at least one book to him this month. I'm going on a little vacation, so I think I might bring one of them. But the presentation was super, super awesome. He was hilarious. He was so funny, so comical, so personable. And the presentation was literally how to sell a haunted house. Dead ass, so good. His jokes, just like the way he presents himself is exactly how I pictured him, like reading through these books and stuff. Like, he's just so quirky and funny, and I would definitely recommend any of his books. I'm an asshole, I've only read 2 so far, but I would definitely highly recommend. And if he's ever going to a space near you, just do it. Super funny, great guy. But we were able to get them signed as well. So, and I'm gonna have like another post on my Instagram too, but I'll just show you one of my favorites. So, like I said, this book was my favorite book of last year. And the tapeworm scene in here, you guys, I still think about that. I have fucking nightmares, and it's so good, so horrible. The descriptions, I love it. So I actually had him, I'm like, I know this is weird, but that scene in the book is one of my favorite chapters. Could you write it out to my little tapeworm? So he did. It was so awesome. He's so funny. And then this as well. No spoilers for this book, but we were chatting. It was really fun. We did talk about the Evil Dead, the new movie Evil Dead Rising, but it was super fun. And that is basically it, you guys. That is my wrap up for, what is it, March? No, April. That was my wrap up for April, and a little like fun little meet and greet that I was able to do as well. So I don't know, you guys. Hopefully I will be back again soon. I'm hoping to do maybe like a read with me. I have a buddy read I want to read. The Serpents of the Wings and Night by Carissa Broadbent. Heard incredible, phenomenal things. I have 2 of my girlies on there. I think we're going to start that this week. So maybe I'll do like a little vlog of reading this week and kind of like my thoughts and stuff. But I love you guys. Stay true, stay wild, stay reading, bitches. Bye!